For this video, I'm going to show you just a few helpful ways to set up your Google document for a chemistry lab report. Firstly, you'll want to set up your paper, and I just have an example paper in here. I would like to show you how to best put in a chemical equation. The first thing for putting in a chemical equation that you'll want to do is always put it on one line together. So if you have to space it out so it's all on the same line, you should do that. So let's say I want to do the reaction of formic acid with water. So I start with water, H2O. You'll want your 2 to be subscripted. So you're going to go up to Format, Text, Subscript. You can also do Command, comma. And then you'll want to space over, put a plus sign, space over. Now we're going to add our formic acid. And then you're going to want to put in an arrow. Go to Insert, Special Character, and you'll see it's the third one in, the arrow. Rightward arrow. You can also find a double arrow, which is what we'll want to do for this because this is a reversible reaction. So we'll click that. Once you click it, it will go in. So you press out, and there it is. Space over, and this will make H3O plus, so we'll do it like we did before. Now to do the plus sign, we'll put the plus sign in, and if you highlight it, you can also go to Format, Text, Superscript. Make sure you get out of Superscript before you do the next part, plus HCOO minus. And that looks like a nice chemical equation. You also want to put in the phases. Best to do a cursive L. I'll use the font Pacifico. And so on and so forth. All right. Let's say next you would like to insert a picture. You can insert a picture directly in, but often it's best to have a caption with your picture. You'll want the caption to be kind of connected to the picture, so to do that, we're going to insert a drawing. So click Insert Drawing. And then in the drawing area, you're going to click this image button here. And from here, you can either upload a photo that you have in your desktop, or if you have them connected to your phone, it'll be in your albums, your Google Drive. So I'll just go into my album, insert a picture of my cat, and it will show up here. So you can resize it, make it a little smaller. I'm going to move it into the middle here, and then I'm going to put a text box underneath it. And you can see it's a box now, and you can type in it. So say Figure 1, and then you know, whatever the caption is you have for it. This is my cat named Samson. And then I'm going to make it a little smaller so it fits just around the words. And you want to make sure that this is the same font. So see how this font's a little bigger? I'm actually going to make it smaller. I'm going to make it 10 point. Make the box a little smaller. And there we go. And I say Save and Close. And here's my picture. And this will travel together. You can also make it smaller like so. But the problem with making it smaller in your document is that it'll distort some of the word size. So if you want to edit it, just click Edit. And if it's a little too large, you can make this smaller. Say I want my picture to be a little smaller. I'll move my text box so it's underneath it. Like so. I'll say Save and Close. And nice because this is all one thing together. Another thing you can do with your image in a drawing is label it. And sometimes a labeled picture is really good for your report. So let's say I want to label his nose. I click on Arrow and start wherever you want your arrow to start. And if you go towards the nose, it'll point towards it. But if you want to switch those around, you can use where the lines start and line end, and you can switch those to anything you want. Let's say I wanted it to be an open arrow or a more square arrow, or I want the end of my line to also be an arrow. That's what you can do here. So I'm going to adjust my line so it's a little bit thicker so I can see it. And I'm going to put it in red. And then I'm going to put on the other side a text box. like so. Actually, I'm going to do this to the other side because I know that my picture is on my right side, so I don't want this to really disrupt my text, so I'll put this here, just kind of touching it like so, and then I'm also going to put a red box around it so I know they go together, and then I'll write in it nose. Make it as small as possible. I click Save and Close, and there we go. Now it's labeled on here, so that's another way that you can use the Google Drawing to add things to it. So there's lots of things you can do in here. You can add shapes if you want to. You can add a shape in, text. You can add another image in if you want to put two images and kind of crop them together. There's lots of things that you can do in here. So I don't want this big open space here. I would like for it to be wrapped around. So I'm going to click Wrap. And that means all of my texts are going to go around my picture. Now, you never want to have a sentence on either side of your picture. So either put it all the way to the left or put it all the way to the right. I'm going to put mine to the right because that's easiest. And there we go. And so now I've got my picture and my figure in here, and I'll refer to my picture in my text by saying, refer to figure 1. So you may also want to break the text. That'll make this large space. You should only break the text if you're going to write things in by hand here next to this picture. If not, I would say wrap the text. If you want to leave some space later on, I'd say just enter down a few, guesstimate what you need on space, and then you can print it out and write on it directly. If you're inserting calculations, I would say those are best to do by hand. So that's just a short tutorial on how you can better format your papers.